And we are live on Facebook. Cheers. You know, I always got to have a beverage with me.
I see. You're talking about cheers.
All right, Steve-O, here we go.
Yep.
I kind of like this one, Steve. Taking us back. Philly. Yes, sir. So it's the homie, Moss Money, and your boy, my co-host, my right-hand man, Steve-O, Headbanger. What it do, bro? What's up?
What's good, man? Over here, laid back, chilling.
Right? I ain't mad at you, man. So what's been going on, man? You ready to deep dive in this?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and dive in here first, man. What you got for me?
All right, solid. So, as always, we're going to start off the show with our continued conversation about Colin Kaepernick and his message. And honestly, Steve, I haven't really seen much over the weekend. A lot of the airways has all been about Florida and the Caribbean and Haiti, you know, with the hurricane down there. And I know I've seen pictures, and I know Haiti's underwater right now, which is crazy.
Yeah. They always get hit a little hard, man. So, send my wishes out to the people that's been hit by that storm.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, and be safe out there as best you can. And last week I talked about a focus group that I was part of called the Gray Group on Facebook. Really, nothing much has been brought forward to that. It's kind of been quiet on that front, and yeah, and I honestly myself, I have start to look into some more self knowledge and reading the autobiography of Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. So I'm looking to pick those up to add that to the collection. But no brothers got gunned down by any boys in blue this week. So in my book, that's a win.
Yeah, so I feel the same way, man. I looked at some things, I didn't, see much. So, I guess everything is still where it's at, man. Kaepernick's still doing his thing. A couple other guys. I seen Antonio Cromartie over in the Colts joined in on as well. So,
Right.
I mean, it's just something to still keep an eye on. I mean, the same thing is happening, same thing's going on. But, I mean, it's just been a quiet week this week, so I guess all is well.
Absolutely, and that's always and that's a good thing. So, and with the election coming up, and like I said before about things going down in the Caribbean and Florida and Haiti with the hurricane, I guess that's kind of blowing up the airways. But I do have to say though, Steve, and it's going to be funny. Shout out to Warren Reed at LaSalle. He actually posted something on Facebook, an old D-line buddy of ours, about Black Lives Matters, and it's going to surprise you here, Steve. Listen to this. It was from Ben and Jerry's. Now, Ben and Jerry's, yeah, Ben and Jerry's, the ice cream place in company. So this is what they said. I'm gonna read. It's actually on their website on www.benandjerrys.com, and it talks about why Black Lives Matters. I'm just gonna read a little snippet of it just to give you an understanding of why Ben and Jerry's is doing it better than most of these billion-dollar companies out here doing it. So it starts. Part of the excerpt is this that I definitely like how they put it. We do not place the blame for this on individual officers. Rather, we believe it is due to the systematic racism built into the fabric of our institution at every level, disadvantaging and discriminating against people of color in ways that go beyond individual intent to discriminate. For this reason, We are not pointing fingers at individuals. We are instead urging us to come together to better our society and institutions so that we may finally fulfill the founding promise of this country, to be a country with dignity and justice for all. All lives do matter, but all lives will not matter until Black lives matter. God damn, Ben and Jerry's. I need to go buy me some cookies and cream right now. For real. 100.
I mean, that was well put. I don't think anybody could have said it any better. And
and that's just a paragraph, Steve. That's just a paragraph, bro. We ain't even finished. So I'll finish off just because it put the explanation point. It says, we ask people to be open to understanding these issues and not to reflexively retreat to our current beliefs. Change happens when people are willing to listen and hear the struggles of their neighbor, putting aside preconceived notions and truly seeking to understand and grow. We'll be working hard on that and ask you to do as well. Your friends at Ben and Jerry. Goddamn, I'm going out tomorrow and buying myself a whole goddamn sundae with some chocolate jimmies.
extra Ben and Jerry's.
Yo, man, shout out to Ben and Jerry's. And like the homie Warren Reed said on his Facebook page, doing it better than a lot of these politicians, these doctors, these communities, these colleges, any type of systematic voice that anybody out there is saying, they really put their stamp on this one, and I got to commend them for that. So a round of applause for those guys.
Yeah, good job, Ben and Jerry's. And like I said, I couldn't have said it no better. I don't know who could have put it any better.
Absolutely. So, continue on with that talk, Steve. A funny thing is I had a conversation with a friend, and I see we got, before I go on there, I want to shout out Eric Miller and Dwayne Pragg that's on Facebook Live, man. I appreciate y'all for listening to the show. But I had a funny conversation earlier this morning on a ride into work. What do you think about the flu shot? Do you believe in the flu shot? Because, back in the day, African Americans, babies, adults, elderly, were all somewhat experimenting on with vaccinations. So are you a fan of the flu shot and these vaccinations? Because that's an underlying truth about American history that nobody likes to talk about, how African Americans were subject to these vaccinations for experimental purposes to see what would happen.
I mean, I haven't taken a flu shot. Let's see. I took one. I've gotten one this year.
Okay.
And when I was working at the hospital, I got one. It's just required in certain environments.
That is true.
I will say that I do believe that it works, to be honest, because I did go a period of about 6-7 years without getting the flu shot. I mean, I wasn't really sick, but it did limit the amount of times I during the winter that I was getting a cold. So I would, get one maybe every month or so.
Okay.
Because, I didn't properly bundle up either. So,
right.
It could have just been on my end. But I get my kids their flu shots every year. And knock on wood, none of them have ever been diagnosed with the flu or been really sick either.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say that I'm not against it and I'm not really for it, but I'm just in the middle. If I don't have to get it, then I won't. I'm going to put it like that. If I don't have to get it, I won't. Now, if I'm in an environment where I do need to get it, where it's required, then I will get it. I'm not against it. Like some people say, well, I'm not getting it because I don't know what's in it. I mean, it's a lot of things that we put in our bodies that we don't really necessarily know what's in it.
Absolutely.
To be truthful, so.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's funny because a friend of mine earlier this morning, he's been blessed, and him and his wife are going to be expecting their first child, and he was really reluctant about them taking the baby after the baby is born to go give them, their vaccinations. And he wants to be right there, front and center and make sure that he knows the vaccinations that they're using. He's a big stickler about that. So, and he has his right to. I never heard of that. I don't even know they're going to allow him to because as soon as they take the baby, I don't think any parent can go with him. But he's about 6'6" and 320, so I don't know how they're going to stop him from getting getting back there with his child. But I believe in. I don't know. It's kind of funny because I've had the shot and I haven't had the shot. I've had the shot, gotten the flu, and then I haven't had the shot, gotten the flu, and vice versa. So it is a particular stance. It's kind of funny stance. And shout out Eric Miller for actually commenting on it as well, where he said he just got his 6-month-year-old the flu shot, did it for his 3-year-old as well, and they kind of believe in it as well. They can't talk to him about the concerns of African Americans, but he does believe in a shot, and I appreciate that opinion on the show. So, with that being said, like I said, and I always say every week, we will continue to talk about Colin Kaepernick, brother Colin Kaepernick, and his message that he's trying to spread, and we will keep the conversation fresh and live, and bring it to you as best we can in our own experiences, and try to share them, and hopefully you share your own as well on Facebook Live. So let's talk about them dirty birds, man. What's up with them Eagles, man?
Yeah, they actually, reading up on them over the bye, I just like to see that they're getting healthy. So they're going to get Zach Ertz and Leotis McCalvary back.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's huge. They really might be the healthiest team in the league right now. I don't know. It's a lot of injuries, bro. Everybody's banged up.
Yeah, and then you got the dude Nigel Brown, who just got into some legal issues over the bye.
Yeah, I saw Schwartz call him a dumbass.
Yeah. Well, he told him, he said if you keep doing dumb things, you're going to be, labeled as a dumbass.
Right, very true.
He just got to, he got to be a lot smarter. I mean, I have no idea how you forget to take a firearm out of your bag.
A loaded firearm, by the way.
So.
I don't know what he was thinking either.
Yeah, this is the second run-in with the law over the summer. Last few months, he got in trouble over the summer. Before training camp. So.
Yeah, I put a question out there on the MoneyPot podcast forum group on Facebook, where would you have cut him, or would you keep him, or would you have added some some trade value for depth? A lot of people just kind of brush it aside. This is how these athletes are, and I'm very understandable. You don't know what kind of background he comes from. You don't know his life and his daily habits. I mean, we just saw Kim Kardashian get kidnapped pretty much in Paris, where she was tied up. So, and I understand that's a woman compared to a professional athlete, but celebrities can never be too careful. And Nigel Bradham is quote unquote, he's not obviously a high A-listing celebrity, but he is somewhat of a name. So he likes probably wear some jewelry and stuff like that. So it does bring a target on your back there.
Yeah, I mean, he just got to be smarter though. Like what he did was something that was that wasn't. He brought it on himself, basically.
No, he did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
No.
It could have been avoided.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Check his luggage, because I'm one. I'm going through my luggage a few times before I do anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm going to, sort through, take out things that shouldn't be in there, or take out things that necessarily is not needed during that trip. So I mean, I get it that people do rush, but you are responsible for what you do, and that's all on him. It's nobody else. He needs to take full responsibility for it, whether he forgot or not.
Yeah, no, they're definitely right, without a doubt. So I guess the biggest question though with the Eagles, bro, is how did they respond after a bye week? This is their first kind of go through after a bye, being a week off from football and kind of getting right back in the swing of things. You know, since they're 3-0 right now and are kind of up in the upper echelon of the league of one of the more powered teams in the league, are they going to win games they're supposed to? Are they going to continue to limit turnovers? Stay aggressive on defense. And obviously, you do have to get lucky in the National Football League and staying healthy as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of topics that I think that they have to look at. But I have a couple of questions here for you, Steve. If they beat Detroit, if they beat Detroit, I mean, is it safe to say we're talking playoffs?
I can't say no about it anymore. I mean, with the division the way it is, I think we do have a strong chance to win the division. Dallas isn't looking bad. Washington is pretty mediocre. The Giants,
I don't know what the Giants are yet.
Yeah, I thought they were better than they were. I mean, they look good on paper. Their team that looks really good on paper.
Right.
They don't seem as if they're putting it together on the field. So, I mean, I think our chances are higher than I thought in the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
If they can continue to play, on all three phases of the game and, dominate on defense and, put up points on offense as well, I don't see why not.
No, yeah, definitely. Come on,
and
Steve.
I honestly thought they were a 6-win team, but I mean, they beat Detroit, man. They started off 4-0, and I definitely will have to, rethink that because I don't see them just winning 2 more games throughout the season if we start 4-0.
Come on, Steve. Steve, say it one time for me. Playoffs?
Playoffs. But yeah, man. So we'll see, man. It's still up in the air, but I honestly do think that we got a big chance of winning the division. So if we win the division, we go in the playoffs.
We definitely do. So I guess that goes into my next question. I guess the first half, not the first half, but the first quarter of the season, Wentz really kind of shined, and I think he continues his track upwards. But who do you think shines in the second quarter of the season? Who do you think is going to kind of show up in these next 4 to 5 games?
That's a good question, man. I want to say Jordan Matthews because I just think that Jordan Mathews, even with missing the whole preseason due to injury, he still had to work out a little kinks. But Carson Wentz likes him a lot. He looks for him a lot.
Right.
I think that Jordan Mathews is really going to end up separating himself from the rest of the receivers on the team. I like Zach Ertz if he can stay healthy. I like Ertz to really.
He had a weird injury though, right?
Yeah. It was like a bone somewhere or something that was piercing something. I don't know. Yeah, it was right. Like a rib. It was a rib that was broken or something. But yeah, I mean, if he can stay healthy, man, he invites contact too. So he's a big guy, so he got to learn how to, if he can get down without taking too many hits, then go ahead. But I don't know. What do you think? Who do you like in the
second half? I think Ertz is a good call. I think somebody's going to rise out of the backfield. I'm not sure Ryan Mathews is going to stay healthy the whole way, but I got to give a shout out to one of my other good friends who just joined on Facebook, Felicia Richards. Shout out the women listening to the show, but I'm not sure, bro. I like Ertz, but I think somebody's got to kind of stand out from the running back committee and kind of be that kind of bulk carrier, somebody who can finish the game at the end. Not sure if Ryan Mathews is that guy. Is that guy?
I don't know if they necessarily need that though. If they're able to, distribute the carries and still be productive throughout the game, as if they did, last game when Ryan Mathews went down, then that's pretty cool. But you can't put too much on the kid like Smallwood. He's still a rookie. I mean, Barner.
Why not? Why can't you give Smallwood the ball 15 times a game?
Because if Ryan Mathews is healthy, then you don't need to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but that's a big if, right? And Eric Miller just shouted out that it was his rib popped out, discolation in his rib for Ertz.
Yeah, it was something with his rib.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's what I see. I think that running back kind of situation has to kind of clear up, or hopefully it does clear up. But we'll see. And the Lane Johnson suspension is coming after this game, so that's going to really kill the offensive line continuity. But the left side should be good.
I was looking up that as well, and it was saying that they would love to have the rookie kid. I can't pronounce his last name. It starts with a V. They call him Big V or whatever it is. Fill in that right tackle spot, because it would be more productive if they was only to switch one position instead of having what is it? Is it Tobin or Barbary go to the right tackle? Who's playing left guard now?
It's Tobin, but from what I heard, they said that they're going to put the it's not the veteran that they signed, not Wasinski or I'm not really sure how you pronounce his last name. It's the rookie. I think they call him like Big V or something. It's the rookie they're going to just put at right.
They're going to put him at the tackle.
Yeah, right.
Instead of switch, right. That's why I said it'll be. They're saying that they'll rather have one position switch.
Right. That makes sense.
Which makes more sense. Yeah, it makes more sense to me. They said he's come a long way. I've seen Brandon Graham compliment him, say, he makes him think when he's going against him, because of course he was a scout team offensive lineman.
Right.
A scout team O-line goes against the starting defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon Graham goes against him a lot, and he said he really holds his own. He's seen him make a huge progress since training camp, which is always good to see. So
he's just exactly, and he just got to be put in the fire to see if he can really sink or swim. So, shout out to the homie Chin Uku who just joined. My bad, bro. I don't mean to butcher your name. It's not like I don't know you. We go way back, but I appreciate the support and joining Facebook. Shout out to the Uku, man, especially my man Vic, man. Happy congratulations on that new beautiful wife that you got there as well. And happy marriage to y'all as well. So the last question I got for you though, Steve, on the Eagles is as good as they've been, man, what do you think can they improve on? Like, what do you think right now is their biggest weakness? Because if you say quarterback or the secondary, it's going to be hard to say that because they're the only team in the NFL who hasn't given up a passing touchdown yet at all. I do think that changes in Detroit, but, I mean, it's pretty impressive to be 3-0 and not give up a passing touchdown yet. So where do you see, as we close out the Eagles, kind of review of where can they improve moving forward? That's a tough question, bro, because I had to think about it. I wrote it down for a reason.
Yeah, where can they improve? I mean, their biggest improvement is going to have to be the offensive line, though.
Well, you're talking about when Lane Johnson is done, right?
Yeah. So that's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, that's where I see they're going to have to improve the most at, because now you're going to make sure everyone is on the same page with, blocking schemes and pointing out the blitzes and shifting and everything. Well, Wentz back there, but you don't want him to take, and I say this all the time, you don't want him to take too many hits.
Right.
Any unnecessary hits. So it's just going to be the improvement with, a new lineman in there and just quickly gelling together.
Right. No, I definitely that's a good call.
We can't take corner, but they've been playing well, so I can't really beat them up too much.
No, I don't know if you can at all though, right? Because I mean, it's impressive that they haven't given up. I don't care who they played. It's impressive that they haven't given up a touchdown. Like, there's nothing else you can say about it. They haven't given up a pass touchdown, so that is not a weak link. And they did face AB and the boys, so it's not like they didn't face any competition. Anshawn Jeffrey was on Chicago as well. So, it's back to back, two quote unquote elite receivers.
I mean, AB did, toast them, but he didn't.
Man.
Julio Jones. He didn't Julio Jones.
Exactly. And not even that, Steve, you can I think, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think D'Angelo Hall said it best one time when he faced T.O., and I think it was actually when T.O. was on the Eagles. T.O. roasted him. He had like 180 yards or something crazy, 160, 180 yards receiving yards, but he didn't score. And that's what Hall was saying. He's like, I don't care how many yards he has. He can have 400 or 500 yards. As long as he don't score and put points on the board, he can run up and down, the field all he wants. So, I gotta say that's still a win. If Brown, even though Brown roasted him, he didn't get in the zone.
They only had 3 points, so I don't even matter.
Yeah. So, all right. So now we're gonna switch gears because basketball season has started a little bit, and so we gotta switch gears to them 76ers. What you think about them Sixers, bro? Let me let that AI ride out.
I changed a lot in this culture and in this game. It's not about how you look.
Yeah, well, it's not like I'm gonna put Barkley on there. I mean, I could, but everybody love AI, so I'll throw a little AI out there.
Absolutely. But no, I don't know. They're gonna be a terrible team.
Yeah, they are. Simmons hurts.
Yeah, and I've heard that his agent said he wanted him to sit out for the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, but it's funny. At first, I said, like, why is he saying that? Like, I don't even think it's his call, but it's funny he would say that because, I mean, it's not like the Sixers haven't had this the last, 3 years? I mean, Noel sat out, and then who was next? Okafor sat out. No, Noel, and then Embiid, right?
Yeah. Embiid, yeah.
And then Okafor. They all sat out. No, Okafor never sat out that first year, right? He played. Yeah.
Okafor played.
Yeah.
Okafor played.
So, I mean,
but it's like,
and I saw a couple preseason games, and Embiid looks like, the talent that he's been advertised as. I was kind of disappointed. I mean, they still have him on restricted minutes, but I was a little disappointed that they went to double overtime, and he only had like 6 points in double overtime, which was kind of disappointing. But he's gonna be a beast in the East. A big man who can move. He looks like he's got a J. But you know who's a shocker for me? The shocker for me is the Bull Sarge.
Sarge. I mean, he was good overseas, though.
Yeah, he was.
A lot of times, the overseas players they don't transition well to the NBA.
Right.
It takes them some time. So, I mean, the jury's still out on him. We'll see how it is when he has to face, real competition for 30 minutes a night.
Well, I mean, he put up the stat sheet a little bit. He put up the stat sheet, a couple of rebounds, definitely double-digit points, a couple of assists. We are. He's still getting a feel, but he looks like Toni Kukoč, to be honest with you. He looked like a young Tony out there.
Yeah, so I just don't know about Embiid either. So we'll see. I'm still on the fence with him. He has a lot to prove, and not just talent wise. He got to prove that he can stay healthy because he's another guy that's just injured over and over and over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and with his height and his weight, foot injuries and leg injuries are big on big men.
Yeah, they are. And he definitely had that bad injury too. Then who was it? Yao Ming had it, and the dude from Cleveland, who was it? What was the center from Cleveland had it? But he had actually an okay career. But
Gauskas.
Yeah.
And I think
who else had it?
Elijah or Ewan had it.
Yeah, I think Elijah had it.
They ended up being pretty good.
Yeah. And a couple people joined the Facebook group, so I want to give a shout out to Thaddeus Kavanaugh. You bring Kavanaugh from LaSalle? Yeah. What's up? And then one of my homies, family, my cousin Marcus Walker. Thanks for joining the show, bro. And Eric's still with us, talking about Kukoč. You mean slow? No, I don't mean he's slow, because Toni Kukoč was actually kind of deceptive in his athletic ability, but he's like I remember when watching Toni Kukoč, he didn't look like he was like 6'9". Like Toni Kukoč was a big dude, playing, actually kind of like a point forward. Really, back in the day, he could bring the ball up, even though he had Mike out there, so he never really got the ball anyway. But he could post up. He could shoot the outside J. He had a little athletic, wiggle to him where, he could, do a little up and under, and, he can play with both hands. He was a lefty, though, so, that obviously.
And he played with the Sixers.
Yeah, he did play with the Sixers for that little bit. Yeah. But I just see a lot of Kukoč in Sarge's game where he can stretch the floor, he can play the four, he can play big. Kukoč wasn't a defender, though.
Now, let me ask you this. Where are they going to play Sarge at? What position?
From what I saw from the preseason, he's a true stretch four. He can't play the three because he's too slow.
He's too slow, right?
Right. He's too slow, so he has to be a four. And it was kind of funny. He's got to be their stretch four. But the problem is when he goes out, who moves into that four spot? That's the question.
And this is the thing. That, not only that, in defense in the East, he might get worked out by a lot of them fours, man. Because you got Kevin Love, you got Millsap.
I think he can stick Kevin Love.
Huh?
I think he can stick Kevin Love.
Yeah, he might.
I'm not saying Kevin Love won't give him work, but I'm just saying Kevin.
He'll work him out without a problem.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that it's not like athletic wise.
Right. With the league, a lot of the stretch fours are very athletic. So
right.
He's gonna have his work cut out for him.
Oh yeah. I definitely agree with that.
He'll be a rookie, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. So I definitely wanted to put a little time in it for the Sixers with the season coming along, and hopefully.
Yeah, but go get y'all Sixers tickets. A lot of times they don't stop for like $16. So if you ever just bored or just want to take a cheap date out, spend under $40. There you go. Go to Sixers game. Now, you might get free Big Mac or something at the end.
So I just want to add that Steve is definitely a LeBron fan and the Cavs fan. So he has nothing.
I'm a LeBron fan.
Oh, you're okay. I'm sorry. You're just a LeBron fan. You're not a Sixers fan though, are you?
No, I'm not a Sixers fan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't wish for them to do bad, but the Sixers, I give them about 4 more years. They'll be okay.
4 more years, you think?
Yeah, it's going to take them a while, man. I don't care, because you're not going to – people say, oh, well, you can imagine a lineup with Embiid, Noel, and Sarge on the floor at the same time. They're going to get blown out the water.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That's not going to work. Even if you put Embiid, Okafor, and Sarge on the floor, I mean, just those big men, they're just too crowded at the bigs, and they're not going to be able to play a lot of them at the same time. So it's just they're not going to be able to keep up with other teams. I don't care what you do. They're going to run them up and down the court.
Right.
It's not even going to be fair. It's not going to be fair. So they're going to have to, make some moves, try to get some veterans in town, who want to play. Because nobody really wants to come to the Sixers because they probably feel like they're wasting their time and wasting a year or two off their career coming to a squad that's just that bad.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, they built a new facility in Camden, so I mean, they got ways to go. I honestly think looking at them playing in the preseason, I think actually Noel's a better fit next to Sarge than Okafor is, because I don't think you can have Okafor come off the bench. I think obviously Embiid's going to start, and I just don't see Okafor coming off the bench. I can see Noel coming off the bench. I just don't see Okafor coming off the bench. So honestly, I wouldn't give him. I wouldn't like giving him up, but I would probably trade Okafor.
If they move him, Okafor has the potential. He's going to be an all-star.
He is going to be an all-star.
Go somewhere, he has that potential. I don't care. It's not too many big men that's going to average 19 or 20 like on a regular. Like his offensive skill set is really good, and he's just going to have the right coaching to make him focus on his defense. It can be done. It can be done.
No, it can be done. So I mean, we'll see how they play out. Basketball's a long grind, a long season. So we'll see how it all goes. So last week we actually had a nice little comeback with the bets and the games there, Steve-O. Definitely made a little bit of money last week, and we definitely came back. I think you were, what did I send you? You were 8-5. No, you were 8-6 last week, and I was 9-5, and I was 1-1 in my best bets, and you were 1-0 in yours. So let's go back and bring on, the football bets. It's game time. All right, so let's see who we got here, buddy. First game up. Took the Cardinals long enough to get a win, man. They eked out that win too.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they killed them at the end, obviously, because David Johnson started to go off, but that was a tight game for a little bit. They're really not that good, which is crazy. So
I'm surprised at it. I'm surprised at the Cardinals. I think they were one of them because they were considered an elite team.
They were considered the favorites to win the whole thing.
So they got a ways to go. If they can come, I mean, they only 4 games in, so 5 games.
Yeah, we'll see if they can turn it around. I think, honestly, I mean, Stanton didn't really show nothing, but I really think it's Palmer, man. There's something wrong with Palmer. He might be just regressing. I mean, he's 36 going on. He'll be 37 in December. So, I mean, we'll see, but. So that was the first game on Thursday night. So our first game is Houston and the Vikings. And this is a tough game. I think his first name is Stephon. Stephon Diggs is out for the Vikings. So I'm not sure.
Is he out or is it? I heard he was doubtful. I didn't see that he was out.
You heard doubtful? I thought they said they ruled it. I saw that they ruled him out already.
No, last I saw was Stephon Diggs was doubtful.
That's a huge blow if he doesn't play. And Houston gets their starting right tackle back, even though I don't really think that means nothing. But It is their star.
Yeah,
It is their best guy.
he's a game time decision. He's doubtful. So
Oh, okay. And then
yeah, so we'll see.
And then I think it's safe to say, I mean, actually, it's not safe to say, I am going to say it, that Bradford is better than Osweiler at this moment. So, Osweiler has 6 picks already. He's going against a top 3 defense. You know, it's too tough to call. I mean, I could see Houston covering. If Diggs doesn't play, I don't see how the Vikings really score a lot. I don't think, Rudolph is going to go off for like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I kind of like the under. The under is 40.5 points. So I see this as a very grind out, boring game. And I don't know if the Vikings are going to win or not, but the fact that Osweiler turns the ball over, he's going to give the Vikings. Who you like?
I like the Vikings to win, man.
You like the Vikings straight up?
I like them to cover the spread, but if he's not playing, I would still tease it down and take the Vikings. The under is a great choice because the Vikings don't give up that many points. I think they only give up like
right
12 points a game or something like that. So the under should be a pretty good choice if you can go that way. I'll say go to under. But if you pick them between the two and you can tease the Vikings down, then tease the Vikings down. But I just don't see Houston putting up too many points on that offense, that defense. Although they do have a lot of speed out there.
Yeah, they got some weapons.
For the Vikings to have to, cover. But they're just really, really good on defense.
Yeah, so I somewhat agree. If you could tease up Houston if you don't think the Vikings are going to beat them by double digits. It's just that Osweiler turns the ball over. So, I don't know. Like, it gives Minnesota a couple extra possessions to do some damage. So, I mean, we'll see how that plays out. But, yeah, I like the under in that game. So, the next game we got is Tennessee and Minnesota. It looks like they are going to still play this game.
Wait. Tennessee and Miami.
I mean, I'm sorry, my bad. You're right. I said Minnesota. Tennessee and Miami. And it looks like they're still going to play this game because it looks like the Hurricane kind of veered right. So, Mariota is just not doing that well. He's been turning the ball over. They have like one of the worst passing offenses. So, I mean, all they really do is run the ball. But, I mean, Miami really hasn't been that good either. It's really a toilet bowl game, bro. Like, is it?
I like Miami.
You like Miami?
Yeah.
I took the points. I went.
I mean, it could be a shootout, but I like Miami to win.
You think it's going to be a shootout? I don't think it's going to be a shootout at all.
I said it could. It could end up being just a shootout. I mean,
Right.
Pretty bad teams, but I like Miami to win.
I hear you. I think Mariota kind of gets it together, and kind of this might be his breakout game. I think it's perfect setup for him to have this as his breakout game. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure about that game at all. That's a game I'd just rather just leave alone. But we still got to make the picks. So the next one. You already know what that is.
It gotta be the New England game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tom Terrific is back, buddy. The Tom Brady Show. The FU Roger Goodell tour. Yo, I've heard some things that he is coming out there pissed. Like, he is mad that he had to sit out 4 weeks and couldn't do nothing. And, Brady's back. That mean Gronk, I don't care if Gronk is 75%. That means Gronk gets a boost. So they become a passing team, not a running team. Cleveland has no shot. Like, just no shot. I saw one bet. This dude bet $9,000 on the money line. He bet $9,000 on the money line to win $1,200. That's how confident
Wow.
people are about New England. And they talking about, he might be rusty. He hasn't played in 4 weeks. It's Cleveland, man. It's the perfect storm. It's the perfect tune-up game for him to make mistakes and still go out there and get it done. That's an easy call, bro.
I got that as my lock bet too. One of them. I got another one, but that's definitely one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. So next game we got. Oh yeah, we right back on it, back to back, buddy.
Let me guess. Go ahead. Who you got on this one, man?
This is the Steelers and Jets game.
You like the Steelers, huh?
Oh my God, love the Steelers. The Jets are it's a bad matchup, bro, across the board. The only thing that the Jets have is that defensive line. That's the only thing they have. But other than that, they can't, especially with the cowbell back, man. Like, especially with Le'Veon back, like, there's no way Revis ain't playing. Decker's not playing. The other receiver, I forget his name, the African dude, his last name began with a Q. He's up in the air. All they got is Marshall. Now, I mean,
Yeah, but I honestly think they probably would have been better off just keeping Geno Smith as the starter, man. Because Fitzpatrick looks horrible. They waited out that whole summer and tried that whole fiasco out, and he came back and played like crap.
yeah, and he's on a bad streak right now. He's got 9 interceptions in 2 games. He's going to Pittsburgh to play in Pittsburgh. Like, it's just, I mean, and even if they can score, right? Even if they can keep up a little bit of scoring, how long you really think they're going to score with Pittsburgh? Especially with Le'Veon back.
I got Pittsburgh down as a one with the spread too. So I just don't think that the Jets have enough.
They don't. Like, sooner or later, when Pittsburgh starts to break open this game, it's just not going to be enough. And even if Revis was on the field, he's good for a toast or two a game anyway. So he's regressing. So it's just I mean, that's almost as up there with New England. Like, it's just not enough. They don't have enough offense to keep up with them. So I love the Steelers there all the way. So next game we got is Washington and Baltimore. So, is Baltimore one of the worst 3-1 teams in the league? Like, I'm not even sure.
I wouldn't say they're one of the worst. I mean, they just always know how to win, man. Their coach really good.
No, that is true.
Good coach.
Yeah, no, that is true. I like Harbaugh. But the one thing I took from them is that they're underrated at home. I forget what I read, but I think Flacco was like 40-something, like 15 at home. So, and they have a great run defense, and the Redskins really can't run anyway. Don't let Matt Jones fool you with that little, 100-yard game he had last week. He ain't going to do that against the Ravens. So it's going to be all Kirk Cousins on this game. It's going to be, can Kirk Cousins deliver? And I'm betting that he's not. I went Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm with Baltimore on this one.
Yeah, I went Baltimore on that one there, buddy.
I just don't see it happening, but yeah, I definitely got Baltimore in this game.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. So, next one.
Yep.
I'm going to let that ride out because we 3-0 right now. So y'all going to get every bit of that. Eagles, Eagles. Little echo. just to wake you up tonight, man. It's almost midnight, man. Y'all gotta get up. So, Steve, this game, man. I bet this game already, but this game scares me, man. I've read a lot. I've seen a lot. A lot of people are picking Detroit, man. There's a lot of money riding on Detroit in this game. They see this game as a trap game. They see the Eagles riding really high. They see a lot of the mistakes starting to show. They see the rookie going on the road in a dome and just faltering. And it does scare me. I just don't see it, man. Like, I just don't see what they're seeing. I don't know if it's just the money in Vegas or what, but his preparation is on point. He's in the facility at 5:30 a.m. already. He has a photographic memory. He hasn't had any turnovers. Our defense is playing lights out. Detroit is hurt everywhere. And I've butchered his name the last couple of weeks. It's actually Ziggy Ansah, how you say it.
Okay.
And
that's the biggest point though. Like,
right.
Detroit is hammered, man. They're beat up bad, and I think that we'll capitalize off of it. And if Doug Peterson takes anything out of Andy Reid's book,
right,
and can be anything like him. Andy Reid was always successful after the bye, and he always prepared, for that game after the bye week really well. So I think the Eagles win this game with a comfortable lead. Like they have a comfortable win.
Now I went. This is a teaser alert for me. Just to be on the safe side, I teased this game, so I got the Eagles +3. So,
Not bad.
I don't know, man. Everybody I read, every expert, every little analyst, or everything I saw, even the money on Vegas, everything was riding Detroit. So they see something I don't see, but you know what I mean. Whatever. I don't know. I'm riding with that Midnight Green Express. So
exactly.
Next game we got is who we got here? Chargers and the Colts. Who wants to watch this bumble? Like, I mean, not the Chargers, Chicago. I'm sorry, Chicago and the Colts.
Yeah, I'm taking Indy on this one.
That's what I think about this. This bum dookie bowl.
No, yeah, but I take Indy on it. Indy can put up some points this night.
Yeah, I mean they can put up some points, but their defense is still terrible, and Andrew Luck still gets beat up back there. So, and Royal doesn't look like he's going to play. Eddie Royal, who had a good game last game with Chicago. Hoyer's. Yeah, he's not going to play. He looks like he hasn't practiced all week, so it doesn't look like he's gonna play. Vontae Davis is going to be on Sean Jeffrey. Hoyer's thrown back-to-back games of plus 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. So
Kevin White out
there. Yeah, Kevin White's out. So, I mean, I just went with the home team. That's how I look at it. I just went with the home team. I really had no kind of feel on this game at all. So, I went Indy.
Cool games.
So next game we got is probably the game of the whole week and probably the best game they got. I really thought they should have pushed this game to 8:30, but it's Atlanta and Denver. Yeah, it's Atlanta and Denver. So it's a classic matchup of great offense versus great defense. The highest scoring offense at 38 points going against the best secondary in the league only gives up 16 points. This is a hard game. I mean, Denver
defense wins champions.
Denver, yeah, they definitely do, and they're favored by -5 right now. It could go down a little bit. I don't know. And were you a believer in Matt Ryan? Like, do we believe in Matt Ryan right now that he's gonna go to Denver and beat Denver?
I can't say yes and I can't say no because I don't know
Exactly.
which Matt Ryan I'm gonna get. Because Matt Ryan last year, what they started off 5-0, and look how they ended up.
6-0.
And then they lost like 6-7 games in a row. So he's off and on. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
But right now he's playing. I mean, lights out. He had 503 yards last week. So I mean, it kind of pissed me off because but I had him on the bench, man. He had 40-something points.
Right, right. I mean, he could easily lay a dud, but, you know, him and Julio could easily go off for another 150, 200 yards again. So
yeah, it's going to be tougher against this.
It will be.
And I'm not. Yeah,
and Vaughn coming off that corner.
Different, right? They give you different looks. They stout against the run. They make you really think. So
who you got there, buddy?
I'm gonna go with the champs, man.
I can dig it. Yeah, I said this was another teaser. I would tease the Denver down. If not,
yeah, I would too.
If you betting straight up, I mean you go with the champs. I think Simeon is going to be a game time decision. I don't know. They kind of him and I forget his name. Lynch. What's his first name? Is it Patrick? It's not Patrick, is it? Paxton Lynch.
Oh, the quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback. Paxton Lynch. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like they're really interchangeable, I think. And the way what Paxton Lynch showed last week, kind of, underneath stuff. I mean, Simeon kind of opened it up with D. Thomas that one game when he was, throwing a couple bombs there, but kind of similar. I mean, Paxton Lynch has a little bit of mobility, taller in the pocket. So, I mean, it's a tough game, but it's going to be a good game, so get your popcorn ready for that one. Next game is Buffalo and the Rams. Now, I really think the Rams are the most underachieving 3-1 team we got in the NFL, right? I mean, that's safe to say, right?
You just said the same thing about Baltimore.
I know, I did say the same thing about Baltimore. But I feel like these teams, there's no reason why the Rams are 3-1 right now. Looking at possibly being 4-1 against Buffalo. I mean, Gurley hasn't gone off once. He's averaging almost 3 yards a carry. And it's Case Keenum. We're talking about Case Keenum. Case Keenum is playing good football. He hasn't turned the ball over once. Like, who the hell is Case Keenum? And there's nothing on that offense to be scared of. I mean, you say you could be scared of Gurley, but you put 9 in the box and, you kind of neutralize him and say, beat me. I mean, it's not like, Brian, who was the dude that scored for them last game? Was it Brandon Quick or Brian Quick? He's like a 40-year-old rookie. Like, he's been in the league forever. Like, I just don't see the Rams being 4-1. I just really don't. I don't see the Rams going 4-1. And Buffalo's playing well right now.
Yeah, I like Buffalo.
Yeah, I like Buffalo too, bro.
Last few games, they had the fire lit under them. They've been playing a lot better. Sammy Watkins is still out, of course, but they've been finding a way to win. And
Tyrod.
that one against New England was pretty good. Although, Tom wasn't playing, but it's still New England. I thought New England would.
New England too.
Yeah. I like Buffalo. Buffalo.
Yeah, I like Buffalo too. I actually put them on the teaser and tease them up because they're actually dogs. They're like 3-point dogs. So I tease them up. I don't see the Rams beating them by double digits. So. All right, next game we got is San Diego and Oakland. Every time you count Rivers out, every time they're all banged up, man, that's when he kills you. I just can't count Rivers out. I never can. They're banged up. They got nobody. Everybody's got ACL injuries. The Raiders are riding high, but the Raiders suck at home. Like, they're good on the road, but they're not good at home. I don't know, man. You like Oakland?
I'm looking more to, I like Oakland.
Okay.
It's Diego is another team you just never know what you're going to get from them. 1 week, they look like they can just keep up the pace scoring with anybody, and then the next week, the injuries catch up with them. And
well, they're killing themselves, right, Steve? They've given up 3 fourth-quarter leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they could easily be 3-1 right now, even with all the injuries. Like they very easily could be 3-1. I don't know. I like Rivers in this game in Q fantasy. I forgot to write down my fantasy picks as well, but thinking about this game, high scoring. Oakland secondary is leaky. San Diego, scores. Oakland can score too with them. So I actually like Rivers to throw up probably 3 to 4 touchdowns, and I actually pick San Diego to cover just because I think they can score with Oakland.
Nice.
All right, next joint. What you think about this Cincy and Dallas game, man? It's a weird line, real shady line. They giving Dallas a lot of respect in this one.
I'm going Cincy all the way. Cincy is tough to beat at home.
Cincy's not. Dallas is home.
Oh wow! I thought Cincy was home.
Nah.
I don't care where it's at. Cincy defense is tough, man.
Yeah, I just don't see why they think Prescott is going to be good against his defense. Let me look that up.
He surprised me. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I said he stinks, he manages the game really well. He limits his mistakes. He hasn't made any big mistakes. He didn't throw any interceptions yet. And he went and won without Dennis Bryant out there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is
running wild.
Yeah, he's starting to heat up. So, I don't know, man. I just think Cincy is going to be too much for him. They're playing a team that's really good on offense and really good on defense. So Dallas is going to have to compensate somewhere. They're going to have some things, fall their way if they
right.
want to win this ball game. But Cincy, I don't see them losing. And if they lose, I'll be completely surprised.
So is this a lock? Is this one of your second lock or no?
That's not my second lock. My second lock is yet to come. It's coming.
Okay, yeah, I think it's probably coming up next. But yeah, no, I hear you. I actually, just because the line was so shady, I actually put this on my teaser and I teased Cincy up a little bit just in case. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule that Dallas had. They played the Giants, the Redskins, the Bears, and the 49ers. Nobody in the same caliber in the defense of the Bengals. So that's a good that's another indicator why they're 3-1 right now.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't know why the line is so funny. I don't know why they're getting so much respect. I would think Cincy would be easily -4 or -5. They're only -2, and that just went up recently. So, like I said, I like Cincy teased up. So, I think Prescott actually makes a mistake in this game just because the defense he's playing. He's never faced a defense like this before. So,
nice.
Next game we got is night game, prime time. New York and Green Bay. Sam Shields is out. New York can't run the ball. Rodgers is at home. And the homie OBJ is looking to just play. You don't want to be a distraction, waving his little rainbow flag. But I believe in Eli, man. I honestly do. I believe in Eli. I believe he has the weapons to score with Green Bay, and Green Bay's offense actually hasn't been as high octane as it's always been and as it's been advertised to be. So I actually picked New York to cover in this one. I don't think they win.
I agree.
But
I don't think they win, but I think they cover.
I think the Giants actually cover in this game.
Yeah, I think they cover though. Because I mean, that line is pretty high too.
Yeah, I think it might be over 7. I think it's 7.5. I'll tell you right now, there, buddy. Where we at? No, it's 7. It's just -7. It might get to 7.5. I don't know. So usually what happens is like all the public bets, right, during the week when the lines come out. And then right before the game, the sharps and the bookies and all like the quote unquote experts bet. And that's when the line kind of shifts. Those are when the big money bets. Like when Floyd bets, he doesn't bet early. He bets right before the game to get as much information as he possibly can about the game, who's playing, who's not, who's a game time decision, and so forth, so he can put a bet in. So that line it'll probably stay at 7 and might go back down to -6.5, which could be scary for the Giants because Green Bay could easily win that game by a touchdown. So I don't know, but I do like the Giants. I actually think OBJ might show up in this game and go off. It's funny too because everybody's been talking about how he hasn't had a good game, but the last game he had like 3 catches for like 80 yards, and that's not good in his standard.
What last game?
The last game I forget the last game he played, he had like 3 or 4 catches for like 78 yards.
No,
I looked.
No, he didn't. He had 3 catches, 27 yards.
Oh, maybe I was looking at the game before. I thought it said.
Yeah, you was.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the game before that.
I remember beating James because he had Odell Beckham playing.
Oh yeah, the Vikings. Yeah.
Go off.
Right.
Yeah, he only had. Yep.
You're right.
So that's when he was crying because he said that he's gonna join playing football anymore because they talk too much trash to him. Get out of
Yeah, man. I don't know. He's a special one. He's a little sensitive.
Yeah, he definitely had. Oh, he had 3 for 23.
Yeah. I don't think it was a good game offensively by them anyway. I think Vikings kind of shut them out pretty much.
Yeah.
So, next game. So, I'm guessing this is your second lock with Tampa Bay and Carolina, huh?
Yeah, I like Carolina, man. That's my lock, man. I just don't see Tampa is a train wreck right now.
Even if Superman don't play, you like Carolina still? Or you thinking Cam Man plays?
I think Cam plays. If Cam plays, they are locked. I mean, without Cam, I'm not locking anything.
I can dig that.
But Anderson didn't play bad though.
No, he did.
I will say that.
If Anderson plays, I love Greg Olsen in fantasy. Love him. And then I looked at this game, and Winston's had 2 back-to-back bad games. Tampa really needs Winston to show up. The more talented team is Carolina, obviously. But you know what? Davis for Carolina, I think he has a pulled hamstring, so he's a game time decision so far. I think he came out and said he's gonna, if he can go, he just can't go. But he's gonna play it smart. And they let go of that cornerback who got his career destroyed by Julio, and he probably never play in the NFL ever again. They released him, and then they're starting to.
What would you do if you had a player who got 300 yards put up on? I would release him too. I know once
Word.
I knew a guy that got 300 yards put up on.
Word. Hey, we got a couple late owls. Tim Richards, I see you, bro. Thanks for joining. And so they got 2 new starters at corner and cornerback, and I really don't like that. I don't like that move. I mean, I understand, what they call him, Riverboat Ron is gambling here, and starting 2 new rookie corners, but I don't think that's good against Mike Evans and Jameis Winston. I just don't think that's a good look. So I actually went the other way. I actually think Tampa is going to cover in this game.
Okay.
I really do. All right. So little review here. I didn't get a chance to really go through the fantasy in DraftKings, man. I know what I have in DraftKings. I tell you right now, I'm stacking Tom, and I actually went Tom and Michael Bennett in DraftKings. I like Gronk, but I think there is a little bit of truth that he's still not 100%. And with Tom being out there, I think that a lot of attention is going to be on Gronk just because Tom's there. You know, Tom loves that dual tight end set. So I actually think Michael Bennett sneaks in a couple catches and maybe a teeter or two. Looking at the games, how can you not like Antonio Brown? I mean, he's going against a trash Jets secondary. Like I said before, I agree with you. I think Jordan Mathews scores. I like him a lot in that game. Jordan Howard in that Colts and Chicago Bears game. And I'm trying to think what else. Who else I got here? I don't know about Atlanta and Denver. I actually like Emmanuel Sanders in that game. Do some damage. And Buffalo and the Ravens, I don't really have a feel who might do anything. I know Shady hurt his hand in practice. So not too sure how effective he's going to be. I love Phil Rivers in that Oakland game. Cincy, Dallas, really not sure. A.J. Green could show up. He probably will show up, actually. Dallas hasn't faced anybody of his caliber yet. So, and then we got New York and Green Bay. Sam Shields is out, so.
Well, wait, so back to that.
What up?
Dallas has seen someone of his caliber. They played the Giants.
Oh, you talking about OBJ? What did he do that game, though?
It's still of A.J. Green caliber.
No, you're absolutely right. Let me look at that. He didn't really do much. Just 4 catches and 73 yards. But did no, and that was Prescott who played that game too. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And then Tampa and Carolina, gotta like Olsen. How can you not? And then I like Mike Evans in that game. You know, you got 2 rookie corners starting, so I'm feeding the big fella.
Yeah, well, I got quarterbacks. I like Wentz, Luck, David Carr. Running backs, Terrence West, Jordan Howard,
Right.
Bernard. I like Bernard. Tight ends.
When you say Bernard, you talking about Gio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tight ends. I like Kyle Rudolph and
I like Rudolph.
Cameron Brate from Tampa Bay. He had a good game last
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He had 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, and Carolina struggled this year against the tight ends.
That whole defense is struggling.
Yeah, wide receivers are like Jordan Mathews, Sammy Coates, and if Eddie Royal play, I like Eddie Royal.
Yeah, the problem is he just hasn't practiced all week. I have him on a fantasy team, and I've been monitoring him, and I actually just picked up Sammy Coates just in case. But he hasn't practiced this week, so.
In defense, I like the Cincy defense.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about defense. Good pick. I forgot about defense. Let me scroll back here on defense and shout out to Tim Richards. He definitely just said that Tom Brady's going to see 11 Roger Goodells out there on Sunday. He thinks Tom is going to light it up, and I couldn't agree with him more, man. Tom is going to be out there showing his ass off, literally, like he was in Italy. You know what? Looking at the games real quick, I like Philly as a defense, and I like Denver actually too. I think Denver shuts down. I actually think Tevin Coleman said he can't play because of the sickle cell trait, because of the altitude. They said he's going to give it a go. I think he's going to be very, very limited. I mean, you don't want to mess with that. So I think, and that gives, I mean, I like Freeman because Freeman is really cheap in DraftKings. I think he's only like $5,000. So he's going to get a lot of volume. But, you know, that's a stingy defense. And I actually like them to bottle up Matt Ryan a little bit. So I think that's a sneaky play because everybody thinks Atlanta's going to score. But I kind of like Denver's defense or Buffalo. Buffalo's going against the Rams. Buffalo's a sneaky pick too.
Right.
Yeah, man. So that concludes our show. I want to thank everybody who joined on the late night. I saw a couple females come on. I appreciate that from our women fans and supporting the show. And thank for everybody coming on and actually staying up with me late, like I said before, and being interactive with me. This was a good show on the Facebook Live. And we out of here, man. Steve-O, have a good night, bro.
Yeah, everybody, drive safely. Do what you gotta do, man. Thank God to seeing another day.
Absolutely.
Everybody have fun over the weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace.